Hello, everybody. So today I want to talk about some elite spec ideas for the next expansion in Guild Wars 2. Holy, this shit just came out like what 2.5 months ago into Dragons. Like we're already so early on, but since they confirmed the fourth expansion, people have been speculating about what the next elite specs are going to be. And, I wanted to give some pretty early ideas on three of them, that being the Warrior, the Ranger, and the Elementalist. The most amount of time I put in was probably the Ranger, just because it's my main, but let's start off with the Warrior. The Warrior I put in the least amount of detail into because I'm just not really into Warriors, so I don't really give a shit. But I think it would be cool if it was called the Captain or like the Militiaman or something like that. So basically, for the weapon, there's not really much you could do at this point. There's nothing that fits with the theme of the captain. They're really going to have to consider that going down the line, like what new weapons they would be able to do. So we'd either see like a melee staff or like a short bow, which I guess a short bow really wouldn't make any sense, but I guess it kind of would, because you're kind of like an asshole sending in people to do the work for you as you're sitting back at range. Just the idea from it, obviously not in like practicality, because boon stacking and all that, but yeah, so basically the skills you'd be getting are minion skills. So what's really, really cool about the minions is that they would be like soldiers, like the thieves guild and stuff like that, where on the thief, and you can kind of summon in a thieves guild and they come in and help you. It would basically be like that, but there's individual soldiers you can have that you can command to do different things, right? So we could have one with like a great sword, we could have one with like a sword and shield or like a mace and shield or something like that, and just various different ones that we could use. I think that'd be really, really cool, and as well as gaining new adrenaline skills for each specialization. I'm sorry, each weapon that you have. I think it'll be really, really cool. But yeah, that's my warrior idea. So I've got two ideas for the ranger. The Untamed didn't really work out in the way that I wanted it to, where it's really, really pet focused. It's more kind of pet focused and then kind of focused on you. So it's kind of like really empowering both you and your pet. That's like kind of what it's going for, and kind of transferring its energy between what you and your pet. Well, this would ditch that whole fucking idea. We're gonna go full balls deep mechanist mode, where it really like 100% focuses on the pet. All the traits, everything focuses on the pet. And this is some pretty wild shit. I'm just letting you know this is some pretty wild shit. So yeah, this is gonna be called. I just named some random shit. The Dino Warrior. Something like that. So basically, the weapon is going to be a pistol or a shield. I think a shield would be pretty good. An offhand shield, I think that'd be really, really cool. I don't think we've had an offhand yet for the Ranger, so for the elite spec, so that'd be a cool idea. So this is the main mechanic, right? The main mechanic is so cool. So basically, the quote unquote dinosaurs of Guild Wars are called the Saurians. Saurians? I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. Let me look back real quick. I think they're called Saurians. Like Saurian. Yeah, Saurian. I'm just gonna call them Saurian. Okay, they're basically fucking dinosaurs. Your raptors. We could already use some of them actually, like the bristleback and the smoke scale. But I think it would be fucking cool to be able to have one of these like. I think the Bone Breaker is one of them. Yeah, the Bone Breaker would be really, really cool. The Raptor, another one. So basically, your first three traits would be deciding what pet you would be using. So that would be your. So it'd kind of just be in like different archetypes. So the first trait would be a support one. The second trait would be like a damage one, and the third one would be a tank one. You could also go the mechanist route where we have a condition one, a power based one, and then like a support one. You could do that. That's definitely a good idea. But I'm just going to stick with the support, damage, and tank because tank would be really good for solo play. So basically, the following traits after that will enhance it in various different ways. Like being able to kind of share your stats with your pet. If they're not already going to be doing that on the Untamed buff, God, I hope they are. But yeah, something like that would be very, very cool and kind of empowering your pet's abilities that you're able to use with it. So basically, like the Mechanist, but cooler. The skills would be these spirit animals, which are like spirit weapons, but basically mini saurians or whatever they're called. So we'd finally be able to use like pocket raptors, so you could kind of put it in an area where it's sort of like an AoE where pocket raptors would go in an area of effect and then they would go away. I think that'd be really, really cool. Just think of like spirit weapons, but instead they're just animals pretty much. I think that'd be really, really cool. An alternative idea, if they don't really want to go focusing on the pet, let's say they do a complete rework of Untamed and it ends up focusing on your pet a lot more than it is right now. Hopefully that'll be the case. We can go with a generic name like the Hunter or something like that. I don't know. I don't really want to call it the Hunter because there's already the Dragon Hunter, and you can kind of confuse it with that. So I don't know. The weapon you'd get is the rifle. So basically, this would be a suppressed rifle. This very, very stealth oriented spec. You're very, very stealthy. You're very much sort of this lone wolf character. This is going to be your first ranger elite spec that really leans into that lone wolf sort of playstyle more than any other elite spec has. You can argue kind of Untamed does, but this one really goes into it, right? This lone wolf sort of playstyle, which obviously is going to just be thematic. It's not going to be that way in gameplay because that'd be fucking stupid because, I mean, you're playing with people, right? But yeah, just thematic wise, that's kind of like what it's going for. So basically, you'd get a rifle, really, have like the suppressed sounds and stuff like that. It'll replace your beast skill, and you still have a pet, but it replaces your beast skill, and it'll use an adrenaline bar similar to Celestial Avatar. When it's full, you can activate the skill to stealth you and your pet, and then you could follow up with a super powerful attack depending on the weapon you use. So it's basically like the thief and the warrior kind of combined into this really cool package for the ranger. Maybe there'll be a trait in there that kind of like maybe helps out your pet or something, but they don't really need to do anything with the pet. It'll just kind of just be like a side thing you could have for more damage or for buffs or whatever. But yeah, it really, really leans into that kind of stealth lone wolf sort of fantasy that I've been wanting in Ranger for a while. I think it fits with the class very, very well. This would be going away from the nature magic sort of theme with the a lot of the past few specs have really gone with was that nature magic sort of thing. Especially Untamed, like it's really moving away from that sort of thing with this. So yeah, there's the Ranger. So I think this one will be received well by a lot of people who don't play Elementalist, and this is the Spellslinger, which is going to be, and I know Elementalists are going to shit their pants when they hear this, a simplified version of an Elementalist. So you can no longer swap elements, which is going to be huge. When a lot of people hear that, they're going to be like, no, you got to be shitting me. No, no, no. But you no longer have access to any elements. You just have one arcane element. That's it. That's all you have. And basically, this will bring new skills for every single weapon on the Elementalist. Brand new skills, completely new. So it's going to be arcane themed ones for every single. Um, uh, this is just an example. They could go with a completely different element. They could just do fire if they wanted to. Just have it just be fire and that's it. Or maybe make it so those two elements is fire and water. I think that'd actually be kind of a good idea. That's another one you could do. But, just for now, we're just going to keep it the one simplified one here. It's going to be one of the most simple specs in the entire game. Like, it's going to be super straightforward, like, barely any complexity at all. Sort of similar to, like Core Ranger, and that there's, like, basically no complexity to it at all. You just kind of, I'm going to hit this button, and that big damage. Like, that's just kind of what it's going to be. Except Core Ranger doesn't do big damage. Rest in peace, my boy. But so basically, new new skills. That's gonna be a huge thing. The weapon you're gonna get is going to be some sort of ranged weapon, so the rifle, the longbow, or even a pistol if you don't want to design 5 new skills. And the skills would be potion skills, which are basically going to be elixirs, but with a different name. They'd just be potions you could just kind of consume, sort of similar to. I mean, aren't the potions like aren't the elixirs on the Harbinger like potions, right? Basically, I don't know. You just be drinking potions and getting sort of different effects and all that. But yeah, it's just going to be the idea of this spec is an extremely simplified version of Elementalist that really can get people who want to play Elementalist, that sort of magic, wizard sort of style, could get them into it, but without having to learn the absurd complexities of the like Weaver and stuff like that, like Catalyst. It could get kind of fucking crazy. So I think we definitely are in huge need of an elite spec that is very, very, very simple in comparison to the rest of Elementalists. In my personal opinion, we are. But yeah, that's pretty much going to cover all of my elite spec ideas. I think my favorite one though is definitely the Ranger one with the Saurian pets. I think that'd be fucking cool as shit, dude. Like, could you imagine having a big ass raptor with you? You know, like I forgot to actually clarify this. There would be different pets, three different pets for the options. So support would be, you know, we could say like a stonehead or something. Damage could be a raptor. Um, you know, we could basically take the same model as the Raptor mount we have if we want, just use it for damage. And then there could be like a tanky one. Maybe you can even just have like a big bristleback or something. I don't know. I have no idea. You know, because we could already have a bristleback, but I don't know. I think it'd be cool to have like a huge one, you know. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna cover it. Peace.